everybody, and welcome to a video of all sorts of obscure Twilight Princess knowledge. For those of you joining us for the first time, this is a companion piece to a Let's Play that I've made of Twilight Princess where I go in depth into a lot of things, and this is basically everything that we haven't seen yet. You don't need to necessarily watch that one first as long as you're familiar with the game. I just thought I'd let you know that I have other videos with lots of information just like this one. First off, no, we're not playing Link's crossbow training. By extension, we are not playing My Nintendo Picross The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. That is the actual game's title. Second, Twilight Princess had a few E3 demos which contain early versions of a few songs. I'll be playing them in the background of this video, but they're not too major differences. Getting into the game itself, let's get started. There's a bit more to Giovanni's story than I realized. In addition to him becoming a drunkard because his girlfriend left him, right over by his house, you can see a woman talking to a soldier about him. Really, what a troublemaker. Don't get involved with a man like that. Listen up, we were looking around for the missing man thinking his disappearance was related to an incident, but word came out that he's at the bar. What a nuisance. Giovanni, idiotic troll, blinded by his greed, the imps took his soul. And even today, somewhere he stays, though he's a grown-up, where's Diff, he moans, While filming this, I found street performers on the streets of Castletown in the evening. Never found them before. You're actually able to shop at multiple booths in the marketplace. You got a sweet-looking apple, looks ready to eat too. Yes, the ones over there are sweeter, so let's put this one back. There's always some kind of reason why you can't pick up the items here, but several of them can be interacted with. You got a sweet-looking apple, looks ready to eat too. Apparently, the apple is always sweeter. You got a pretty flower, and the price is nice too. But there's no one manning the shop, so you should put it back. You got some bread! It's hot and fresh from the oven. But it costs way too many rupees, so you should put it back. I was informed that... Oh my gosh. I was informed that there's a door in Castletown I've never been in. I've never seen this door before in my life. Wow. Hello? Ah, it is my heroic brother. My dad brought me back here for the first time in a while, but things around here look a little different from the last time. We were allowed through the inner gate right away last time, but this time we were not let through at all, and without reason even. Oh, and brother, I am selling potions here now. You can buy 1 cup of red potion for only 40 rupees. I don't need it, sorry. If you wanna know why the prices are higher than in Kakariko, it's what my dad calls regional pricing. It's so innovative. Oh, you are the hero who saved our elder, are you not? What an honor to meet you again, brother. Thanks to you, we were able to come back here and resume business. But having been gone for a while, I have noticed a strange difference in the air here. I went to go get permission to do business in the castle, but they would not even let me in, so I just set up shop here. We have some goods for you to take a look at up top too, brother, so go take a look, peek, brother. Brother. So there's more up top. Whoa, this is fancy, very old-timey. Hey, heroic brother. So, is the view from the observation deck really nice? My dad is serious about business, so he always says, I must man the store, which means he never takes me out to the deck. But I want to be a good business goron like him, so maybe it is all for the best. So, brother, would you buy some lantern oil for 30 rupees? Definitely don't need that, because there's free refills of it everywhere. And then, this was the thing that was hyped up the most about this place. Whoa! Oh, you can see the fountain below and everything! You can see it, correct? What has happened to Hyrule? It looks normal now, there's no crystal in it. Strange feeling I noticed when I first arrived. Perhaps it was this all along, brother. I must tell you, I have kept this a secret from the others. Yes, it is a secret to everybody! I do not want to agitate the young ones, despite all that is going on. If you think you need more arrows, just let me know, brother. So, would you want to buy 30 arrows for 40 rupees? Nah. I see, got it. That is about all I can do for you, brother. Come again if you need more. There's statues of Triforces here. I guess the royal family's crest, more like. Look at that. In the minor Easter eggs department, old Clowny here's got a bullet bill on his uniform. Apparently breaking pumpkins near Jaggle at the beginning of the adventure can make him say, don't waste food. I tried to make this happen so many times, but couldn't do it myself, but here's a screenshot of it. I can't believe I made it through the whole game without ever beating up a Kuko even once. When you do, you become a Kuko for about 10 seconds. Man, this is a cheap imitation. When I was a young boy, the chickens mauled our faces off, and that's the way we liked it. Did you know that anytime you pick up a dog or a cat as Link, he gets a subtle little smile? Me too, Link, me too. If you watch Henna long enough, she'll scratch herself in the exact same way as the fishing hole man, showing her relation to him. If you keep looking at the photo of Henna, eventually she'll ask you if her or her sister is cuter. You can be a fence sitter saying that they're both cute and she'll get mad at you. You can say that her sister is cuter and she'll be like, listen, buddy, you're supposed to say that I'm cuter even if you're lying. And then you can tell her that she's cute and she'll actually be quite flattered. She is. She really is. She also calls out your vain ass if you look at your own photo too much. Unless it's obtained through a quest, you may only have one Great Fairy's Tears or Rare Chew Jelly at a time. This is why you saw Rare Chews at the beginning of the adventure, but then didn't see any even though there were chew spawns everywhere in the later areas. But like any rule, there's exceptions. Let me direct your attention to this hidden grotto north of Kakariko Village in the Elven Province. There's a few hidden grottos that I never went to that just contain rupees and Meaver stamps, but this one has 2 guaranteed Rare Chew Jelly spawns. I only see one here because I'm already holding a Great Fairy's Tears, thus hitting the limit. This means that if you have no Rare Chews or Great Fairy's Tears in your inventory, you come here, you can get 2 of them, and then there are 2 side quests that give Great Fairy's Tears. Meaning that if you do things in this one specific order, you can have 4 bottles with this effect. Perhaps the most famous rare sight in all of Twilight Princess is the green chew jelly. You can only witness this in the Cave of Ordeals, and only if a blue and yellow chew spawn close enough to each other to merge. And of course, they can't merge with anything else. If you kill it, it drops green jelly, which doesn't do anything. In the GameCube version, which was released later than the Wii version, this was fixed and it just gives you a purple chew jelly. In the HD version, however, the green chew jelly was restored and it was given text when picked up saying it doesn't look all that tasty. There's also a green bottle that was intended for stores, so this potion would have also been sold. This references a magic meter that was cut very late in development. The meter was even featured on the back of the box art for the Wii version. That's how late we're talking. Furthermore, there was also code for naturally occurring green chews and even black chews as well. This gave another unused type of jelly, the black chew jelly, which just lost 1 heart for you. The black chew jelly's description states, that color, it looks really bad for you. YouTuber Aurum, approve of the Kid Icarus Uprising reference, conducted experiments on these unused chew types, finding that should a green and red merge, it makes blue. This implies that blue would have restored health and magic, much like in games of old. More interestingly, however, they found that if a black chew fuses with any other color, it always makes rare. And I mean always, even if you already have 2 rare jellies. Getting into more obscure lost items, there's an unused graphic for the old Hylian shield design and for the mirror shield. The last unused item I'd like to touch on is the light arrows. They were left in the code as an obtainable item, implying that maybe you would have gotten them rather than it being something that Zelda used. In our version, it was mistranslated as the fire arrows. Ouch, talk about a demotion, how embarrassing. Should you already have full health but find a fairy fountain anyway, the fairies will come over and land on Link's head, or even on the tip of his sword if it's out. All the way from Zelda Wiki, here's a full list of every single Meaver stamp and how to find them all. These don't have any purpose anymore with the closure of Meavers. They're not tied to any form of completion, upgrades, or abilities, nothing, so there's no point to getting them all. Your reward for collecting every Meaver stamp is another Meaver stamp. This one to be precise. Link has a few unused animations, mostly related to sleeping, implying a time-passing mechanic that would later be realized in Skyward Sword. This game desperately needed something like that, and it's kind of sad that it came this close to getting it. But he has one for examining the Triforce on the back of his hand. I'm guessing this would have been after he awakens as the hero and gets the tunic. And another one for whistling for Epona with just his fingers. I've always wanted to whistle like that, because it's so loud, but I've never been able to pull it off. Russell has a few unused animations of getting injured. Kinda glad we didn't have to see these. I mentioned that there is exactly one way to turn nighttime into daytime at will, and that's shooting yourself out of the cannon to go to the city in the sky and then going back down to the surface. But what if I told you there is a way to make it nighttime at will? It's just horribly inconvenient. You need to warp to the Cave of Ordeals so that you can then go north through Gerudo Desert, go through the main entrance of the Arbiter's grounds, walk to the end of it, and then when you step out of Star-Lord's boss room, it will be nighttime every time. You cannot just simply warp to the mirror chamber, go into Star-Lord's room, and then go back out. No, it does not work like that, and you can't access the dungeon from that side either because the door is locked. Atop the very same Arbiter's grounds, should you turn around and pop on the Hawkeye, okay, this is a bit of a stretch, but in days of old when the textures were less sharp, a lot of people looked at this rock formation and saw that as the Desert Colossus, the old spirit temple from Ocarina of Time. Now with sharper textures, it doesn't quite look like that, but I can definitely see it from far away. I made use of this but never verbally mentioned it. You're able to get a quick mount onto the horse if you run up behind them and press A, getting an instant burst of speed without using any stamina. And then if you hold ZR and press A, you'll backflip off of the horse for an instant dismount. Don't hee-ah the same goat too many times in a row. It'll turn red and then bop you off the horse. Goat in! Several people pointed out that I had Uku all wrong. Using Uku will give you Uku Jr. as an item, warping you back to where you were in the dungeon upon using Uku. This one I think was just faulty memory on my part. Here's the award for thing I wish I knew the most. You don't need to push blocks once you have the ball and chain, just smack and it will do the job. Link has a few hidden sword techniques such as the quick spin and then the jump attack spin, but he has a third one known as the roll stab. This was a sword technique taught to you by a master in Minish Cap, and this is the only time it ever reappeared in a 3D Zelda game. You wanna know the deadliest enemy in Twilight Princess? Cannonballs. Getting hit by your own cannonball is instant death. If you're wearing the magic armor, it takes all of your rupees too. 0 are left. We're all fans of the spinner here and it getting more uses, so here's a couple. Number 1, if you keep bursting speed, you are considered weightless and thus can go over the scale puzzle in the Temple of Time without having to solve it. And it also destroys the spikes that shoot up out of the sand in the Arbiter's grounds. Armogoma has an alternate death cutscene. If you squash its true form like a bug with the statues, which is difficult to do, this'll happen. Here's a tiny detail. Anytime you're in any kind of old ancient area and open a door for the first time, dust will fall off of the door onto the ground. And all further times that you open the same door, no dust. Did you know that you gotta protect your groin around bonefish? They eat wood. These wooden crates are also quite buggy. A lot of glitches with them still work in the HD version. When I picked one up out of the water again, the camera glitched out, and then after a few seconds, the game considered me dead and respawned me back at the start of the room. And not only that, if you pick one up again and put it down on dry land, it will still think that it's in water. It'll bob around and the bonefish can even go on dry land to eat it. There's a lot of unused rooms and text that mentions deleted rooms. They're mostly for testing boss fights like the Dark Hammer before making a more polished arena for them. Not too interesting. What I like a lot more is the fact that moblins are a staple enemy that didn't appear at all in this, but they were possibly planned. An unidentified enemy in a trailer looks like a moblin. I have to say, this is a good look for them, and I wish that they used it. Armogoma itself would have also fought quite differently, chasing you through a narrow corridor and not having the eye on its back. This frickin' guy, just look at him. He wears nerdy looking glasses and he's dressed for prison, like all serial killers. It's just an unused model that I had things to say about, okay? Midna was originally gonna give hints on how to fight the enemies, just like Navi and Tattle before her. I don't know why this was cut. They even wrote text for every enemy. It's in there. I want to dedicate a space to the most regurgitated false rumor that I came across while making this. So many people sent in comments telling me to go into Link's basement, look into the mirror, and you will see Dark Link if the lights are out. As far as I can tell, this is not the case because I couldn't get this to happen and I couldn't find any footage of this online. They plan to include a feature for late adopters of the Wii. There's text for a menu to transfer save files from a GameCube memory card to the Wii's internal memory. Let me tell you about possibly the rarest first-party exclusive Nintendo game in existence. Twilight Princess for the Nintendo DS. I'm not making this up. There was a DS cartridge given out at E3 2005 that served no purpose other than to play a trailer for Twilight Princess. These things command top dollar nowadays and are very sought after by collectors. I'm also willing to bet that they're often faked. Speaking of E3, the first time we saw anything related to this HD version was more ambitious than what we ultimately got. They remade Link fighting Armogoma in the Temple of Time as a graphics tech demo for the Wii U, showing how powerful the system was. An HD version to the game on Wii U did eventually came to be, but not as a full remake like what was shown. The Korean Wii version has a unique keyboard that uses the pointer. All other releases have the GameCube keyboard on screen. Speaking of obscure versions released in Asian markets, Twilight Princess, among other games for the GameCube and Wii, were officially released for the NVIDIA Shield in China in HD. This was the first time games like these were ever available in HD, predating our Wii U version. People looked into this version and found that it was running on an official Wii emulator, the first of its kind. This version is awfully strange in multiple ways, given that it's the Wii version, but with the motion controls reverted back to button controls, and with the world flipped back to how the GameCube version was, leading many people to believe that this was a port of the GameCube version, when no, it's just a heavily modified Wii version made to look like the GameCube version. One feature that's never returned in any remake, port, or what have you is if your Wii had a created save file for Twilight Princess, then a decal for the Hyrulean emblem is unlocked for Samus's starship in Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I wonder if they'll remember this when these two games inevitably get re-released for the same system one day. In my playthrough, I said that Ilya is a super inconsequential character who doesn't really get to do much in the story, and it feels strange to me how much importance she's treated with near the end. But you wanna know the best part? Restoring her memory is optional. And before you tell me that no, you have to talk to her at that point to enter the city in the sky, no, I thought the same thing. You do need to talk to her to get the book. You do need to go and save Impaz and get Ilya's charm. But you do not have to actually show the charm to Ilya at any point. You can just walk on by, hand all the stuff to Shad, go to the city in the sky just fine. In fact, the world record glitchless speedrun walks right on past her and doesn't do this at all. When going through the Cave of Ordeals a second time, it'll be harder, ending in a battle against 4 Dark Nuts at the same time. Your reward for making it all the way to the end is the Postman. He just says that he thinks that you are lost and it should be around here somewhere. It's not even clear what he's referring to at all. No one really knows. Early North American Wii copies of Twilight Princess had a debugging feature left in the game. By putting out the torches in the Cave of Ordeals with the Gale Boomerang, you can open the door, thus skipping the fights in most of the rooms. Now let's move on to the endgame. This one I'm a little sad I didn't know until now. I checked one of the graves in the castle graveyard, but the one next to it is the Hero of Time's grave. The spirits of the fallen soldiers that point you in the right direction in Hyrule Castle actually make a second appearance in the graveyard, showing where the hidden button is. Back to the final battle! Ganondorf has cut text for the ending, and I find it to be the most interesting cut text from the game as a whole. When the chosen ones appear, they are always born into this world in perfect balance. That is the destiny of the chosen. That is the fate decreed by your gods. The only path for those who bear their crests. When this world brings forth another marked as you are, know too that it shall also be visited by one of my blood. While cut from the game, this is canon. It foreshadows the curse that becomes a plot point in Skyward Sword. I promised you something funny with the Iron Boots by the end of this journey. Getting the final blow on Ganondorf with the Iron Boots means Link will have them all throughout the ending and be stomping around loudly as he runs after Midna. And that is everything I wanted to talk about in regards to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. It's been a massive journey, and I'd like to remind you once again that I have a full playthrough on this channel containing loads of information just like this if you have the time for that sort of thing, or if you're one of those weirdos who still watches Let's Plays. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and you'll find that playthrough linked right about now.